2025, and I'm interviewing one of the leaders in online education for my EME 6236 class. We're going to learn about experiences, challenges, and strategies for success this morning. And I'm flipping screens. I am joined by Adam Herman. He is our new Assistant Dean and Director of MBA Programs. So Adam, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you for having me, Ashley. I'm excited to be here chatting with you this morning and excited to join the University of Florida, helping to lead graduate programs in business. I am joining UF from Tufts University, just outside of Boston, in the School of Global Affairs, and spent the 14 years before that in business schools at Rice University and Indiana University. In all of those cases, I've had the opportunity to help lead online programs and work with technology-enabled education in both the student services space and also in admissions, with a little bit of experiential learning blended in.
You just kind of have it all going on. All right, so told us a little bit about your background. What drew you to the online space specifically when you were working? I think you did a lot of work in the online space when you were with Kelley, correct?
I did. So I was at the Kelley School of Business at Indiana University for a full decade. About halfway through my career there, or through my service tenure at IU, one of my mentors and my then supervisor was transitioning from leading the 8,000 student undergraduate program at Kelley to leading in the online MBA space. He invited me when there was a vacancy for the Director of Admissions and Student Services role to come learn more. I will confess, I didn't know a lot about online learners, who they were, what they were trying to accomplish, and I went and met with the Kelley School's online graduate programs team, and I was just blown away by the way that the staff talked about who the students were and what they were doing. I was impressed that they were generally full-time employed professionals pursuing an MBA degree online, that they were often parents and spouses, and had parents that they were even taking care of, had these full-time commitments at work, were involved in their communities all over the world, and that at least twice during the program, we're getting together for immersive, consulting-focused residencies. And so the more that I learned about the program, I decided to move forward in pursuing that role and accepting it. I later became the executive director in that program, and it has sparked, even though I've had other roles, a real career-wide interest in online learners.
Mhm. Fun fact, when I came to UF, I had no idea what graduate business school was like either, and kind of just fell into it as well. But the passion that the staff brings from our program has really like kind of ignited something in me.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
Go ahead.
No, that's fantastic. I think online programs and graduate business programs, if they're not, for me, I got a master's in student affairs, and that wasn't on my radar, and it's been a great area to work in.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's really cool when you work with these professional MBA students, especially because they have so much drive and so much grit for what they're doing. And they're quite an engaging bunch as well. So let's talk a little bit about key skills. What do you think are essential for leading online programs successfully?
So in online programs, as in all of education and especially in graduate education, I think a willingness to listen is really important, and openness to feedback. In higher education, we sorts of acronyms that we like. We have great industry terms around learner analytics and around instructional design and in the student services space. And I think in some ways, our learners are completely agnostic to and disinterested in a lot of our professional terms. And so I think it's important to listen in the students' words to what they're experiencing, what they're feeling, where they think things can be improved or modified, And then for us to be good translators, to understand when someone is talking about, let me give you an example. At Kelley, we had a student who switched from commuting into New York City by car from a nearby area to commuting on the train, and listening to and watching asynchronous content on the train. And she absolutely loved it. She arrived to work every day passionate about whether it was operations or strategy. And so she was giving us this feedback around, in this particular course, because of the way that the files are stored, I can't do this on the train. Can you change it? And there were, I think, a whole host of good reasons why this video had been in sort of a different, it was in the platform in a different way, was stored differently, could not be accessed, could not be saved on her mobile device. And ultimately, she just wanted to listen on the train. And so I think that was an early lesson for our team on, this is actually so important to this learner, and there are others out there doing this, that when we put content on, it really needs to be not about how we think it best should be put online only. I mean, there are certain reasons to do things, but also about, if you know you have folks that their local storage of your assets is because they're listening on the train, try to make it so they can listen on the train.
Yeah, I think that it's something I try and remind myself of. And anytime that staff are maybe grumbling a little bit about things, is we have to constantly change and evolve for our students, because not only are student populations changing, evolving, but technology is changing and evolving so quickly, and they're adapting to it. And sometimes they're adapting faster than we as educators are adapting to it even.
I think that's a really good point, Ashley. And so the other thing I think is true about online programs, especially with the pace of technological adaptation, is being willing to ask for help, being willing to attend conferences, talk to colleagues at other schools. It would be impossible